step is to make some coffee. Unless you don't like coffee, then I don't know, don't. Hello, I have a pretty busy life in college. I'm graduating a year early. I studied abroad, I've been taking maximum course load, and I still had internships and stuff going on. So in order to survive all of that, I had to have really good time management skills. So I've compiled a list of, I think, the easiest to implement and probably the most helpful across the board of all of my skills, and hopefully they help you out in some way, even just a little bit. Bye! Plan everything out. I wrote out all of my classes that I needed to take for my major. I mapped out the major requirements, my minor requirements, my electives, and then the GEs I needed to take. And then I figured out which classes were prerequisites for other classes. And then I put them in order so I knew which classes I was going to take in which year. I put everything online into a Google Sheet so I could access it wherever I needed to. And then I color-coded it so I had green for classes I've already taken, yellow for classes I'm currently taking, and red for classes that I'm planning to take in the future. And this way I knew exactly which classes to pick when course selection came along, and I didn't have to kind of scramble to figure out what I needed to take and what I could kind of move around. Organize everything. I handwrite and also take notes online. I recently got an iPad, so I've been taking notes on that, but in the past, since I've had handwritten notes and online notes, I had to keep them super organized so that I knew what to use when study time and exams came along. So I tended to take notes online and organize them in Google Drive folders so that I could access them really quickly. And my handwritten notes were generally study guides, but either way, I had them color-coded, so I used different colors of pen. Since blue is supposed to be proven to help you retain information faster, I used that for some headings. I used highlighters, and it made things easier to read and easier to adjust. And it makes all your management and keeping tabs of everything really easy since you know what information you have for which class. So if you ever need to go back and reference something, you know exactly where it's going to be. Using a planner is kind of obvious, but this is what really helped me get my life together, so I'll show you how I create my bullet journal. First, I have a bullet journal, which is a lotted leak term. I used a pretty basic pencil. I used two different pens, one that makes thick lines and one that makes thin ones, so I could outline things and write with different thicknesses. I used colored markers that I got from Muji. You can use fountain pens and colored inks, or watercolors and paints if you have amazing patience and skills. You can use color pencils, of course, and then the colored markers. Here's what mine looks like. This is my journal. It has a table of contents. It's a dotted journal, so I can draw lines and shapes and write really easily and keep it neat, like relatively neat. It has a pocket in the back, and it has some really cool ribbon page markers, as well as an elastic band to keep it together. Here is my weekly spread. I have an events panel and a tasks box. Both of them I just kind of use to jot stuff down to make sure that I see that as like one of the first things. I also have my daily columns, and here I write deadlines, things I have due, and then I have my weekends page, which I don't update very often, so it stays a little empty, but it has anything that I have planned in advance. This is my monthly page, so I have a bar of days of the week at the top, and then I color code all of my deadlines, major projects, meetings, personal commitments, or any events that I have coming up. I'm not super descriptive here because again, they're going to be in the weekly pages as well, but it's helpful to have a quick overview of the whole month. This is how I create that monthly spread. I just count out the different dots and freehand draw all the boxes. Rulers kind of make me feel like I'm under pressure to make every single page look perfect, which I really don't want since I want this to be as casual and as lighthearted as possible. So hand drawing all the boxes kind of relieves that pressure from me. You don't need to follow any of these formats though if you're doing a bullet journal, because the whole reason I even got a bullet journal was because I needed something that had more flexibility or that made more sense for whatever I was doing at that point in my life, and none of the planners I found really did that. So again, feel free to do whatever you want. Make some to-do lists. If you use your planner, that's perfect, but I like to create sort of bite-sized, easy-to-read lists on top of my bullet journal, and I'll keep these on my desk or hanging around so I don't need to open my journal every time I need to look at a quick task. One of mine has like all my major tasks, the big assignments, projects, anything I need to work on. And then I have one to plan out my meals and help me meal prep, which is really great since decision fatigue used to make me skip meals, which is pretty problematic as you can imagine. And then I stick both of those or as many different to-do lists as I need for that day or that week, and I stick them onto a whiteboard, and my whiteboard usually has my quick daily tasks. Make sure to keep your space clean. This one sounds really cliche, but this is honestly really helpful. So here's my desk. It helps keep me focused to keep things away from my direct vicinity, so I kind of have things tucked away in little boxes. I have my lovely pen and pencil hoard, all my cords and cables in this box. I have some creative stuff like colored pencils, notebooks, etc. Here are the books that I'm currently reading, my journal, my notebooks, some important stuff, kind of things I need to grab. My water bottle is here and my coffee. And yeah, that's about it. It just really helps to keep your space as clean as possible. I also have some houseplants around my desk that aren't here, but those are also great. Another way to really maximize the amount of stuff you can get done within a day is to focus on cyclical procrastination. Working can be really draining sometimes, so to keep my mind fresh, I like to waste time on my phone or go on YouTube, which is really bad, of course, because it just drains a lot of time. It kind of kills my motivation. I'm not really in the mood to do any work, and I just kind of keep pushing things further and further out. So the best way that I found is to use cyclical procrastination, which just means to do different tasks that are still productive, but just in a different way. So generally, I like to alternate between mental and physical activities. So I might take a break to clean and reorganize my closet to get away from my finance homework, or I might go outside and water the plants. Just something that keeps my hands busy so that instead of using my brain to think and do work, which can get really exhausting, I'm sort of doing something physical that I can see the effects of, or I can get immediate gratification from. This feels really good because you get so much more work done and your to-do list can get completed pretty quickly. It helps kind of lift things off of your kind of perpetual hanging over your head things that you never get to, like folding your laundry or cleaning your room, something like that. And at the end of the day, it feels really good to realize how much work you got done, especially when you thought you were not being productive, because you were technically still doing something helpful. Hello again, I hope you're able to find some of them helpful, potentially use them yourself, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye!